eagerly looking forward to the arguments. It's not just about coming and telling the other person, I can argue better than you. No, this, ladies and gentlemen, is bragging rights. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a test. This is their surgeon, probably the very first of many into the world of debate, into the world of public speaking, into the world of becoming mature members of society. My name is Jude Omamegbe. This is I Beg to Differ Debate 2025. All right, so they are with me, the young ones we're going to be speaking to very shortly. Let's quickly bring them to the microphone, get them all warmed up and comfortable. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And what's your name?
My name is Carmiel Abassah.
All right, and to the lady, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And what's your name?
I am Johnbull Sotonye.
All right, and I love what you've done with your hair. I wish my hair was this full, but I've lost it. But I'll get it back. Don't you worry. All right, so we have Sotonye this morning joining us, and our topic is homeschooling more effective than traditional schooling? Carmiel Abassah Erere, that's his voice you just heard earlier on, and Sotonye Johnbull is the second contestant. But now let's find out, ladies and gentlemen, which one is going to be for or against the motion. They've both prepared for it, it has to be said, but Jude doesn't know. I have with me the ballots, the small pieces of paper. I'm rolling it. You can see me, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can see me, right? Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of a dance to this. Make sure nobody gets to be tricked about this. Yes. Okay. All right. So, ladies first. All right? Okay. All right. So you get to choose. Don't tell me. Just hold it. All right? And you get to have that one. All right. So now we're about to find out where this debate is going to get to. Starting with the lady, where are you on?
I am for the argument.
You are for the argument, and that means you are
against the argument.
All right, so please quickly give the pieces of papers back to me. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. All right. So we now know where this debate is going to go to. Well, Johnbull Sotonye is going to be for the argument that is homeschooling is more effective than traditional schooling, while Carmiel Abassah Erere is going to be against the motion. Now, the person supporting the motion is going to kick us off, and then the person opposing is going to give his own opening salvo. For the rebuttals, the person opposing the motion will start, and then the person supporting the motion will follow. Okay? Then we have the closing argument, and the person supporting begins. Now, for the I Beg to Differ has landed. It's time for us to get to the opening salvos here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. So we begin with Sotonye, who is for the argument. The time is here. Sotonye, I need to ask you, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to push the microphone to you so you can be comfortable. Don't need to lean forward. Just be comfortable. All right, I'll push it to you. Okay, very good. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm going to turn up your volume. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I need to be vocalizing very clearly. Project. All right. You have 4 minutes, Sotonye. Your time starts now.
Have you ever wondered why Nigeria's full potential remains untapped and the Western world just keeps advancing? Could it be our collective ignorance of the potential benefits of homeschooling that is holding us back? Good day, my moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, audience, and my co-debater. I am Johnbull Sotonye, and I am here to support the motion which states, is homeschooling more effective than traditional schooling? Homeschooling can be defined as an educational approach which takes place at home, typically guided by parents or guardians away from a traditional classroom setting. Homeschooling is more effective than traditional schooling with the following points. Firstly, tailored education. Homeschooling provides personalized learning experience that caters to the child's unique learning style, pace, and interest. A noteworthy illustration is the story of Alexander Graham Bell, who was homeschooled by his mother. Her individualized approach helped him develop his skills and awakened his innovative spirit, leading to the invention of the telephone. In contrast, traditional schools often employ a one-size-fits-all approach, as the teachers have to cater to the needs of many students. Additionally, flexible learning. Homeschooling offers flexibility in scheduling, allowing children to learn at their own pace and pursue extracurricular activities. A notable illustration to that is the famous story of Thomas Edison, who was homeschooled by his mother after being labeled adult by his traditional school teacher. Her flexible approach helped him to explore his passions and interests, leading to the groundbreaking innovation of the electric bulb. Furthermore, individualized learning. Homeschooling provides a one-on-one attention that helps the parents to concentrate on the child's specific needs and also foster academic excellence, as research has clearly shown that homeschooled children tend to do better in most examinations and tests they are taking. In addition to that, we have a safe learning environment. Homeschooling provides a safe, nurturing, and conducive environment for children, protecting them from bullying and negative peer pressure influence. Let's face it, most of these traditional schools are actually breeding grounds for bullying, social comparison, and social conflicts. Homeschooling, on the other hand, provides a safe haven where children can learn and grow without fear of intimidation or failure. Lastly, innovative learning. Homeschooling encourages creativity and innovative learning through self-directed learning. Homeschooling allows children and gives them the freedom to explore their passions and interests, helping them to develop skills and creativity they need to thrive in the 21st century. Let's face it, traditional schooling is all about rote memorization in a standardized curriculum which stifles the creativity of children. But with homeschooling, children have the ability to freely express themselves. They have the ability to let their mind free.
Nigeria.
Beg to differ. Going back.
So Master Erere is on the microphone. He's been switched on. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right, I need to hear you clearly. Good morning, Mr. Erere.
Good morning, sir.
All right, now can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now you are opposing the motion. You have the same time as your co-debater. It is 4 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Your time, 4 minutes, starts now.
The debate over the effectiveness of homeschooling versus traditional schooling has been ongoing for years. While some say that homeschooling has a more comprehensive education, I firmly believe that traditional schooling is much effective. With this, I consider it a great pleasure to greet our unbiased judges, our unbiased moderator, our judges, our proficient timekeeper, wonderful staffs of Nigerian Info FM, respected co-debater, ladies and gentlemen out there. My name is Carmiel Abassah and I'm from Crestbridge College, River State, Port Harcourt. I'm here to strongly oppose the motion which states that homeschooling is more effective than traditional schooling. Before I head into today's ideal, I'd like to elucidate the content of some key concepts. Homeschooling can be referred to as an educational approach where students are taught by parents, teachers, and guardians at home, following specific curriculums. While traditional schooling is a conventional approach where students are taken to a public or private establishment to gain knowledge. I firmly believe that traditional schooling is more effective than homeschooling with these corresponding alibis. Socialization. In traditional schools, students are able to relate with their peers effectively, while in home schools, students are secluded. When they relate with their peers, they are able to gain knowledge. It's not about being secluded and gaining information on your own, because experience is the best teacher. People learn from their peers due to the experiences they've gone through. Secondly, wide range of educational resources. People who are homeschooled do not have access to carry out real-life practical sessions and talk shows, while those in traditional schools have the access to real-life practicals and talk shows, which enable them to have a clear understanding and better explanation of a specific topic and context. Well-disciplined and structured learning environment. In homeschools, they have a flexible curriculum. Like my opponent said, they have a flexible curriculum. But traditional schools, we have a more rigid and standard curriculum, whereby you won't be able to easily change, which will not cause academic lapses for students. Meanwhile, homeschooling, it causes academic lapses for them, because, for instance, you might decide to learn English today, and the next time you learn English is 2 weeks later or so. But in traditional schools, it enables people to have a clear and moderate timetable, which enables them to learn effectively. In traditional schools, you're able to carry out extracurricular activities like coding. But in home schools, you find it hard to see people learning that, because they don't have the resources, they have the inadequate facilities and much more. But traditional schools like mine, Crestbridge College, we have a standard lab, extracurricular activities like drama club, coding club, and so on, which enables students to have more mindsets on specific topics. A club like coding, it enables people to have a more like critical mindset and solving problems. But homeschool, they are only focusing on a specific curriculum, which won't build their which will enable them to attain academic success. Thank you.
All right, so 3 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock. Both of these individuals are making the most of their 4-minute mark. We'll get into their rebuttals right after this. Stay tuned.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
All right, so come back to Sotonye. Sotonye, good morning once again.
Good morning.
All right, so now we're going to get to the rebuttal, but you come second as we have Erere, who's going to open us with his rebuttal. Are you clear with that information? Okay, all right, so Mr. Erere, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, your time, 4 minutes, starts now.
Thank you. My opponent said a lot of things, like homeschooling enables personalized learning, safe and secure learning environment, and enables people to learn at their own paces. Can I tell you that experience is the best teacher? Though people are bullied, though they're intimidated, and though they face a lot of things in traditional schools, can I tell you that from that they can be able to live anywhere without facing any form of intimidation? It helps them to build their self-esteem. Schools like Crestbridge College, for instance, though they are being bullied, we have teachers take over. They stop that, they curb it. Once you've experienced it, you know how to overcome it, and therefore you can't be bullied or intimidated again. Personalized learning. 2 heads are better than 1. Though you are in your house learning or being homeschooled, it doesn't mean that you can't gain knowledge from your classmates. You can't gain knowledge from your teachers. Did you know that other teachers can give you insight on other topics? You can find it hard to believe that a French teacher knows chemistry, physics, biology, science subjects, geography, and so on. Meanwhile, in home schools, teachers are just there to teach you a specific topic following a scheduled curriculum. Meanwhile, traditional schools, we have a set out curriculum, properly structured. You said personalized learning. Teachers come, they teach, and also in the sense that they give you information. Yes, it gives a one-fit size for all approach, but with that, students need to realize that they have it. Learning, education, life is a race. You need to face it. Unless you grab it, you run for it, you can't make it. Unless you say personalized learning, right? So students can meet teachers when they don't understand a specific context. They can meet teachers, not just staying on your own learning, because two heads are better than one. However, traditional schools gives a better system of learning. You learn from others, you relate with others, and you form relationships. In traditional schools, especially secondary school, you make friends. You make friends with your classmates. Do you know that in future they will be the one to help you? But in home schools, you are secluded. You are kept in one place because of some things. And did you also know that some children with ailments and other diseases can learn freely in traditional schools, though it might affect them? Research has stated that children with those diseases are taught to use text and other AI platforms which are being introduced into traditional schools. Thank you.
All right, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. They're cutting it close. It's time for us to get to hear from the supporter of the motion, and she offers her rebuttal statement. Stay tuned right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues in a moment.
Miss Sotonye, good morning once again.
Good morning.
All right, so you have 4 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now.
I am Johnbull Sotonye, and I am here to strongly refute and rebut the point of my opponents. Firstly, my opponent talked about socialization, but before I continue, let me share a brief story with you. There is this boy who is from a God-fearing home and parents are well disciplined, but this boy was caught doing drugs with his classmates on the CCTV camera in a school here in Port Harcourt. So, that brings me to the Bible quote in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33. Be not deceived, evil communication corrupts good manners. Now I ask, is this really the kind of socialization which traditional schooling is all about? Also, homeschool children can also get to meet their peers and interact with others through other activities. School is not the only place for socialization, as there are other places where children can learn to socialize, debunking the myth that homeschool children are socially isolated. Also, my opponent talked about resources. Now, this brings me to inform you that these resources are not common in every school, because you will not find a well-equipped laboratory in some government schools and in some private schools, although they are all regarded as traditional schools. So therefore, there is no equality even if you come to say that they get access to resources. Also, my opponent talked about structured learning. But it would interest you to know that in a typical classroom, in a typical school, there are 10 topics and there's 1 week for each topic. So therefore, if the teacher is done teaching that topic, he has to go to the next topic in the next week. So what if that child doesn't fully understand that topic? Let's face it, we are not talking about structured learning. We are just talking about structured time. Also, my opponents mentioned extracurricular activities, but these extracurricular activities and the wider experiences which he proposed that traditional school offers is not what is traditional schooling all about. Traditional schooling is about following a standardized curriculum which brings about rigidity. And I want to remind you of the famous saying by Sir Ken Robinson, which talks about the limitations of the traditional schooling, where he said, we are running a system that is so geared towards standardized learning, standardized tests, and a standardized curriculum, stifling the very thing that makes us human. And what is that thing that makes us human? It is our creativity. Also, he talks about qualified teachers. But in some of these traditional schools, one teacher takes more than a subject, and then they justify it with the saying that these subjects are interrelated. But let me let you know that this overworking reduces their ability and their efficiency to impact wisely. As qualification is not just about your certificates or your papers. True qualification is about your ability to impact purposefully. Also, he also mentioned that these qualified teachers are there to support children who are being bullied. But let me take your minds back. Thomas Edison, the famous inventor of the electric bulb, was labeled adult, and adult simply means unable to think clearly or confused by this same traditional teacher. Now, let me bring your minds forward, because in most of these traditional schools, those children with learning disabilities and physical disabilities are not only bullied by their peers, but sometimes the comments which
your time
thank
has
you
elapsed, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Ms. Sotonye. Now we'll go for a break. We have commercials that need to be sorted. When we come back, these fine debaters will be giving us their closing argument. This will obviously give them time to write down their points and get ready for the last hurrah on this very first debate this morning on I Beg to Differ 2025. My name is Jude or Mamigbe. You don't want to go anywhere.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
In the cooking game, you need a
contentious debate. Little Bird is telling me maybe we'll just get another dose of this very interesting topic. My name is Jude, and this morning my starter is Johnbull, Sotonye, and Carmiel, Abassah, Erere. With the topic, is homeschooling more effective than traditional schooling? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get to hear their closing arguments. I will start with Miss Sotonye, who is on my left. Miss Sotonye, good morning once again.
Good morning.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to set the timer back to zeros and remind you, for the closing argument, you have 3 minutes of time. Do you understand that? Yes, okay, sir. All right. So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So your 3 minutes for her closing argument starts now.
The question before us today is not just about which method is more effective, but about what kind of society we want to build. Do we value convenience over forward thinking? Do we really value thinkers who just regurgitate information on a standardized test through standardized tests, or innovators who could think of inventive ideas that would probably propel us forward? Because make no mistake, that is what the debate over homeschooling versus traditional schooling ultimately boils down to. Albert Einstein once said, imagination is better than knowledge because knowledge is limited while imagination encircles the world. Take a look at our country, Nigeria, who have been so invested in traditional schooling over the years. How far has that taken us to? But when you look at countries like China, Canada, and the United States of America, you see that every day they come up with new technologies, new inventions that just makes our life better. Look around, all the traditional school, where has it led us to? Because all we have are just certificate holders, with about 75% of them left unemployed. I implore Nigeria to take a bold step by actually accepting and embracing the potential benefits of homeschooling, as it is only through homeschooling a child is enabled to spark their innovative side, make creative ideas, and bring about new inventions that would actually not only propel us forward but also propel our economy as well as the living standard of Nigeria to a greater height. I believe with this point, my fact and my argument, I believe I have not just been able to convince you, but I have been able to persuade you to believe and know that homeschooling is truly more effective than traditional schooling in this country, Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, 1 minute and 56 seconds is all it took, Ms. Sotonye. Thank you very much. The judges, led by Sir Ikiwogo, are probably right now scratching their heads. Well, not just yet, because Master Erere has his say on his closing arguments right here on Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ debate.
I beg to differ. Going back.
All right, Master, good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, all right, it's time for you to give us your closing arguments. I have your microphone at its peak volume. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get this show on the road. 3 minutes for you as well. Your time starts now.
Traditional school is more effective than homeschooling because it entails socialization, wide range of educational resources, and well-disciplined and structured learning environment. We are in the 21st century for goodness sake. We need to live it. Though homeschooling have taken over, those who are certificate holders and have not yet been employed, they can make good use of what they've learned in traditional schools. Experience is the best teacher. And in traditional schools, in the book of Ecclesiastes, doesn't it say that two are better than one? Therefore, we need to work together, strive together to make our country, Nigeria, better. In conclusion, though we have different opinions, my evidence overwhelmingly supports my argument, which states that traditional schooling is more effective than homeschooling, with my outlined points. I urge you, both my judges, my co-debater, my moderator, my proficient timekeeper, and my outlined audience, to consider the facts and opinions I've presented. Thank you and have a nice day.
1 minute and 13 seconds, and that's what we have from Master Erere. Well, we're going to hear from the judges very shortly. Stay tuned. But before we do that, let's quickly hear from our guest this morning, the students, and find out how they have prepared so far. A quick conversation on the show. All right. Lady and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'd like to start with you, Master. All right, now you can relax now. Okay, deep breath. Okay, well, all right. Oh, so how did that come up for you?
Oh, this is actually my first time being on the radio station, and it's such an opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you, wonderful stars of Nigeria Info FM, for this opportunity, and also want to thank my school, my English teacher, Mr. Mood, for spending out time to practice with me. It was a tough one to actually prepare for this.
Okay.
Because usually when we have debates, it's usually for and against.
Okay.
And we practice, though with other outlying factors. Practice make perfect.
Yeah.
But not every time, because we hold and all of that. I'm good at, when I was making my presentations in school, it's 4.
You like being 4?
Not like I like being 4.
Okay.
I was good at 4.
Okay.
And I expected to be 4. And
now you came up and
now she said, so ladies first, you gave her. And mine was against. Well, because you didn't notice, immediately I saw against, my reaction, I didn't really want to show it.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not that strong against. But with the help of God and practice,
you think
we're able to succeed.
That's why this year's debate is very unique, because those who will get to the nationals from here are going to have the same experience. Your fellow debaters from Lagos and Abuja, right, and their plans to even make this international, will not have the luxury of getting to know where the arguments are going to come from beforehand. The idea is for you to know the topic thoroughly, so that when you come on anywhere, you should be able to give your points. Miss Sotonye, how was that for you?
It was very fine, thank you.
It was?
Yes,
okay.
it was.
All right. So you prepared for both for and against. Were you preparing in front of the mirror with your younger ones or with your parents? Who helped you in preparation?
My mirror.
Just your
because
mirror?
it's my best friend.
Your mirror is your best friend. Okay, all right. We're getting a lot of mirror best friends these days. But anyway, we are going to take a quick break because we need to hear from the judges, and you'll be outside in the conference room as we get to announce the judges. We still have 2 more debates coming through right here on 90.3 Nigeria Info. Even I don't know what's going to happen.
This is I Beg to Differ on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The conversation continues.
I Beg to Differ Port Hackers Season 4. From 24 February to March 10, witness bright young minds make a case as to why they have the superior argument.
Societies do not grow nor assume identities in isolation. Because as Vince Lombardi put it, individual commitment to a group effort is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, and even a civilization work.
In many developing countries, masses set up their votes to know people with questionable character, to recycle old corrupt politicians because their corruption scandal makes little or no difference to their voting decision.
Go beyond the tension, show composure, exhibit fluency, show your oratory skills, and win 1 million naira.
It is villain, malicious, uncharitable for you to sum up such temerity to belittle the capacity of our beloved teachers.
I Beg to Differ Season 4, February 24 to March 10. Tune in weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 noon on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, so the judges have just sent me the results, and we are strapped for time because we need to get 2 more pairs, all right? Not just a pair. We have 2 more pairs of debaters coming through today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to offer my drum roll, and before I continue, I'd like to both of them for giving us their very, very best. It couldn't have been any easier or even more arduous for them, but I think they did their best. So a big, big thank you for them, or to them rather, for coming through on the show this morning. But now, the results. Judge 1 scores that debate. Sotonye 58 points, Carmiel 47 points. Judge 2 scores that debate. 24 points for Sotonye, 24 points for Carmiel. Judge 3 scores that debate. Sotonye 62 points and Carmiel 34 points. Ladies and gentlemen, by split decision, with majority taking the vote, 2 of the judges have decided that the winner for this round is Johnbull Sotonye. Thank you very much. A big round of applause to her, please. Okay, all right. That couldn't have been easy for the judges. Imagine the judges having to score both of you equal number of points. That's how fine this particular debate was. But once again, thank you guys. I know your parents and those who you came through will be waiting outside. Carmiel, this is not the last we will hear from you. I guarantee that. All right, more will come. We have a lot more for you, the listeners. Stay tuned right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Once again, congratulations to you, Sotonye, and we'll look forward to you in the following rounds.